Welcome back to Radical Music Reviews. I'm glad you're back. This is a very exciting video. I'm actually happy to talk about this one because there's a lot of things about what I'm going to talk about that it's enjoyable. Now, I have a story. I heard this coming home from work. If you don't think this is true, then leave a comment because I'm interested. I heard Paul McCartney give an interview about why the Beatles broke up. Everybody thinks it was because of Yoko Ono, and yeah, it was part of that, he said. But here's what he said. John came into the recording studio and said, I'm breaking up. I don't want to be part of the Beatles anymore. It's kind of like a divorce, isn't it? And he started to laugh. And Paul's like, was a little taken aback. He's like, well, what are you talking about? You want to break up? And he was there with Alan Klein, who was the head of their music. He was the businessman that started Abco Records. They signed the Beatles and he was there. And he said, and I also want part of the catalog. And Paul said, what are you talking about? And he said, well, I did a lot of the work. I want a bulk of the rights. And Paul said, well, I only did, Lady Madonna, The Long and Winding Road, Let It Be, Hey Jude, and 100 other songs. So fuck you, John. And I couldn't believe it. I'd never heard that before, that story. He said, yeah, Yoko was in the studio and she was like plunking a blanket in front of his amplifier and stuff. And she was just a distraction. And I didn't like that, but that's not why they broke up. It was because of John. So, and moving forward, I never liked John Lennon's music a lot, his solo stuff. I really liked Paul McCartney's stuff a lot better. And I always thought John was a little terse, and that story just kind of seals it for me. Anyway, moving on to the record review. I skipped a few records on the way to my next band. I actually missed America in the A's. Now, America was kind of the same vein of the 1970s cool rock that happened near the end of the Vietnam War. People were tired of protesting, students were dying, and so the music changed and it became very calming. The Eagles is probably the most commercially successful example, but America was a fantastic band. It was a trio of army brats. Their parents were in the army and they met for a few years, and when they were older, and they just moved out, started the band. Great singing, wonderful harmony. Check out America. Songs, Ventura Highway, Sister Golden Hair, good songs. Okay, so the band I want to talk about today is a band I really enjoy. I've always enjoyed, ever since I was like 5, 6, 7 years old when they first came out. I enjoyed it. It was on the radio. It was the Cars. A lot of you know the Cars, I'm sure. These are the albums I have, a bit about them. Started in 1978, and a lot of bands were doing new wave, like a lot of electronic, like Kraftwerk was a big example. Eventually Joy Division, but and a lot of the bands were doing rock, straight ahead rock, and punk. Well, the Cars fused rock and new wave with synthesizers, with electronic music, and they did it impeccably. The synthesizer use on the Cars records, particularly the first one, their self-titled debut album, The Cars from 1978, they put synthesizers in the forefront. Nobody had done that unless it was all electronic. You'd have the bass and drums and guitar, but you'd hear the synthesizer do this fantastic stuff. This record, in my opinion, is this and maybe Van Halen's first record, was the greatest debut in a lot of rock. There's a lot of bands who have fantastic debut albums, and I'll get to them, but this is certainly one of them. I mean, listen to the songs in here. Let the Good Times Roll, My Best Friend's Girlfriend, Just What I Needed, You're All I've Got Tonight, Moving in Stereo. Moving in Stereo, by the way, was the song that Phoebe Cates came out of the pool to in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That's Moving in Stereo. It's a great song. It's a great scene. Okay, get this. If you're going to get any Cars album, get this. Their first one is the one to get. It's almost like a greatest hits album. After that, they came up with an album I don't have. It's called Candy-O. And that was a very good album. I mean, how do you follow that album up with Candy-O? It's a great album. If that hadn't been their first, we'd be sitting here talking about how great that album was. 2 hits right in a row for the Cars. Now, the only other album I have is Shake It Up, which was, I think, 1980, 83, 82, somewhere around there. Actually, let me look at one sec. 81. it was a bit of a letdown. They tried to recapture the sound of the earlier albums. It didn't quite work. It wasn't produced really well. But then they came out with an album after that. The name escapes me, but it was produced by Mutt Lange. Mutt Lange, very famous producer, did a lot of rock acts, did Bon Jovi. He did a record with them that was fantastic. I'll get the name to you in the next video. It just escapes me now. But it had a song on it called Drive. Everybody knows Drive. If you haven't looked up the Cars song Drive, then do it right now. Stop this video and look it up. It is a fantastic song. It's a sad song actually, but it's done so well. The Cars, great band. Check them out. And some fluffer ones I have. I got Kim Carnes in there. I don't know how that got in there. Eric Carmen had one hit. I can't remember what it was. J.J. Cale, great blues album. Eric Clapton's Cocaine was taken from J.J. Cale's Cocaine. He did the remake of it. This is a great blues album, so check it out. It's called Troubadour. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. Let me know about the Beatles story. That's crazy. Until next time, cheers.